Idea. My name is Hank Davis, and I want to tell y'all, when you get old like me, it's January 2nd, 2023. When you get old like me, you kind of tend to forget certain details of your lifetime. I'll be right back. Might be something crucial you've been saying or doing your entire life, but my middle name is not Lee. My middle name is Josephus, after my uncle. I mentioned that my uncle is Josephus Davis Jr. I moved to his farm in North Carolina in 1965 when I was 7 years old, after my daddy died. I worked on his farm for many years. I grew up learning about my grandfather, Josephus Davis, the country music singer, who lived from 1908 to 1943, dying at the age of 35. He had my father in 1939 and my uncle in 1940. Anyways, back to me. Now, in the 60s, especially in the South where I'm from, racial equality wasn't always a thing, and my best friend at the time was an African American boy named Rufus Jones. He lived on the farm next to mine, and he owned it. Well, his family did. One day I go into town in 1966 when I was 8 with $1. I was to get bread, milk, and eggs and come back immediately. Since all of our chickens had died over the winter, and we hadn't gone and bought them from a neighboring farm yet. So, forgive me. After that, I see Rufus is in town as well. However, he's being horribly harassed by two white gentlemen, and they started beating him. And I didn't say a word, and I let it happen. He died from the injuries he received. I let my best friend die because I was too afraid to be different from society at the time. It is the first regret I've ever remember having when I was 8 years old. One of the reasons I call 1966 through 1967 the worst years of my life. So now I'm going to talk about another highlighted event from 1967. I was hunting with my Uncle Josephus. I was making 9 cents an hour on his farm at the time. That was a lot back then for a kid. I worked 12 hours a day. We were using muzzleloader rifles, and this deer walked by, and it got away, and he didn't have time to raise his rifle to get it, and he slams the butt of the gun down into the ground, and the hammer gives out, and it shoots him directly in the head, killing my Uncle Josephus. And I remember having to live with my grandmother. After that, she moved in to the farm since my Uncle Josephus did not have children. She moved on to the farm and took over for Uncle Josephus. She was old. And the land kind of wasn't the same. I was the only worker on the land after that. And that is everything that happened between 1966 and 1967. I'll see y'all tomorrow with 1968 through 1969, or just 1968. And I hope y'all have a blessed day. I'm starting to take this a little more seriously. My eldest son, David, told me to finally accept how this series is going to be.